perceptive brain. That is several different ways of looking at the same issue and coming up with a novel answer based off of the evidence that's presented from several viewpoints. I may not be as myopic or short-sighted as yourself, or atheistic or materialistic or lacking imagination as you do when you tend to go from any other place other than the spiritual heavenly realm. But I assure you that based off of the reproducibility of this thing that I'm putting in the chat, that the star trail in the south is more than likely the deformation of starlight off of a curved glass structure.
It doesn't make any sense. And again, the question is, how have you looked into it?
He didn't. He just made it up.
We will look into.
No, you won't.
No, you won't.
You do fuck all.
For 4 years or 5 years, you didn't look into that. You're going to look it from now on.
Exactly.
You even have millionaires at your disposal.
There it is right there. There's your star trail, gentlemen. Reproduced right there on the small scale.
No, it's not. It's not reproduced.
It's just deformation of star trails off of a curved glass structure.
Now you got to make them spin around at every point along that ring.
Spin the paper. That's the spin of the star trails.
No, they start. If you put a dot on there, you kept spinning that paper. That dot will move across that lens.
Just like the star.
You got to have a central point. Show me the central point spinning itself.
There's a point to the left and the right of that dude's hand. Can you see it?
And that's going to sweep through the image. You don't see that point right now, do you?
Also, that's a solid glass orb that he's holding over a piece of paper, Lemon. Do we live inside the dome now? Like in the glass of the dome?
We have a solid dome structure. All of the main points are illustrated here.
Lemon,
the effect has been shown.
Lemon, you can't say you live in a glass dome without proving it.
Yes, you can.
We have some sort of dome-like structure overhead by elves, lights, and other electrical activity.
That's crazy.
They look like electricity cascading off of a curved structure. And as we know, we have air pressure if the air is something to press against, namely a dome enclosure of some sort.
No limits. What a lying obfuscator can say. What are you talking about?
I can prove it with logic and reason. What other possibilities are there worth exploring logically?
Well, you need
gravity.
Method for that. You're going to need scientific method for that.
It's using reason. Doesn't the scientific method use reason?
You can't just use reason.
No, you ain't got reason anyway.
It's just belief.
We've already accepted gravity off of piss poor, unscientific methods. Why can't we accept something else?
Oh,
piss
the question.
You can't say there's a dome.
And it hasn't been updated.
And going up there yourself and proving it. You can't use it.
We have meteorites.
Everything that you're saying is just you're just spouting bullshit in a sense.
We have the human resonance, which makes the Earth vibrate like a hollow cavity. What else do we have?
You can't prove that.
Rockets that go up and curve like they're trying to avoid hitting something at a certain altitude. I have more than enough evidence just with that.
No, you don't.
Maybe.
Zero
maybe.
evidence.
But again, you can't prove it.
You're just making shit up as you go along.
Different types of proof. Some people are just not reasonable enough to prove anything too.
Mark, do you think there's a gas pressure?
Yes, I do.
So, how do you have gas pressure without a container?
You can't. You must have a container.
Jesus fuck.
Wouldn't that lead one to logically infer some sort of dome?
But yes, but you can't prove it. So you can't say it for fact.
You said there's gas pressure.
Yes, that's correct. But I can't prove there's a dome above me, no.
How did they prove gravity? Did they give you a substance of gravity?
It's going to be there, but we can't find it or prove it or take a picture of it.
They reasoned back to some sort of force to explain what was going on, and we accepted that quite readily. Why can't we reason back to some sort of thing, whether it's seen or not, like a dome, since we reason back to something, whether it's seen or not, of gravity?
Well, we could assume lots of things. We could assume that it's electrical in nature, and therefore that's our gravity. We got a force though, because we got a what do you call it?
Gravity is not a force. Gravity is not a force.
I don't care. Then it's electric. Who gives a fuck?
Well, it's not electric, is it? It's not electric.
Who gives a fuck? It's there. We see it radiant.
Well, you clearly do. You clearly do. That's why you're here.
Radiant is not even questionable.
The only thing that's probably electric. The only thing that's probably electric is the sun.
Oh yeah, because somebody turned it on, right?
Huh?
Because somebody turned it on, right?
No, because the sun has electric sort of, I don't know. Like it's very, especially when the sun's out and you're on a synthetic carpet, it creates static electric.
No,
and then when you're next to a metal fence and you touch the synthetic grass, and then you touch the metal fence, it creates an electric static, and that comes from the sun.
What?
That never happens.
Why aren't we getting suntans from just the light globes then? Why does the sun tan
No,
us
what
and the
I'm
light
saying
globes
is,
don't?
what I'm saying is, the electric produces, the sun produces an electric charge, static charge.
Actually, I've never gotten a shock while standing in the sun. Not once.
Well,
0 times.
Well, where I work, there's synthetic carpet on the floor, and there's a metal fence. And every day that I'm outside, when the sun's out, if you touch the synthetic floor and you touch the fence, you'll get an electric shock, and that
Do you
comes
think
from.
that a more common explanation for that is called static electricity from the
No, I'm not too
electrons
sure.
off of your
I'm just showing you what happens when I'm outside.
So you'll also find out that when you stand on that carpet with bare feet, you won't get that shock. And if you try and stuff your bare feet along,
I would.
I've not seen such.
If I rub my foot into the ground and then touch the fence with my foot, yeah, I'm sure I'll get an electric shock. I don't have to do that. I just do it with my hand.
You're sure?
Yes, I've tried it.
Have a balloon on your hair. See what happens. Static
Yeah, it does the
electricity.
same thing. Yeah, it does the same thing.
That's what I think is causing the tides. You could rub a balloon just like that, hold it next to a trickle of water coming out of your sink, and the trickle of water will deviate toward the staticky balloon.
Away from, actually. If I'm not mistaken, it's away from, right?
What I'm trying to say is, Lemon, you can't
charge
actually
will
say for
attract
sure that there's a dome over your head, but you can say there's gas pressure without you need a gas pressure and you need a container to have gas pressure.
I'm more than comfortable saying it. God affirms it in the scriptures, and NASA's full of shite. I'm going for broke.
Well, you can't. Well, then that's where you fall into the same trap that they do. So when you say things,
materialistic men who are willing to amplify the modal scope beyond the Bible because they were trying to escape the Bible's clutches. We need to go backward now and reduce the modal scope of possibility back to the truth, which is going to be harder because you're now dealing with liars who have what they want, namely escaping from the Bible and the scriptures. It's going to be an uphill battle, but I think we can.
Why do you care? Why should you care? You
the
should
liars
just live your
need
life.
to be held accountable for the nihilistic atheism
but
voiced
that's not
in
your
the
job.
masses.
It's not your job. It's not your
Making
job.
them commit suicide and making them go Darwinian and cutthroat and heartless. They will be held accountable for their lies and all of the effects of those lies.
No. Let people believe what they want.
And they
Has
will.
anybody else experienced this carpet thing that he has? I find this very strange.
Can I just really check my mic real quick? Because my fucking headsets are fucking about again. Is it okay?
Fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, Mark, we're not talking about letting people believe or not believe what they want. Okay, this is a discussion and an argument about things that are brought up and whether they're true or not. This is not about whether you can believe what you want to. You can be dumb as long as you want to, Mark. Understand that? We can't do anything about that. But we can disagree with you, and that's what we do here.
Okay, so you like disagreements.
Disagreeing with people that are wrong is not a matter of letting them or not letting them believe what they want. believe what you want after the argument. But if you're here to argue, be prepared to be refuted. You can't play that weak ass shield.
What weak ass shield is that? What do you mean?
Let people believe what they want.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
Then okay,
You're your
then
own
you
person.
quit
You can
running
do
your
what you
fucking
want.
mouth. Be an example, dude, of what you believe in. If you think this is so wrong to argue against things, stop arguing against things.
Yeah, but I can say that they shouldn't be arguing. I can obviously say something.
No. Let them believe what they want, Mark. Let them do as they do, believe what they want. You should stay out of it according to you, Mark. Not according to me, according to you.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he shouldn't say things that he can't
Don't argue with me.
Yeah, I'm saying
You're
he
arguing.
shouldn't say
You're
things
arguing.
that he
You're
can't
not letting
prove.
me believe what I want, Mark.
Yeah, I was kind.
And what do you believe? What do you believe?
That's not important
Yeah,
here.
it is.
The important thing
It
is
is. You've jumped in. What do you believe then?
Not an issue. You're not going to change my beliefs, Mark.
I'm not.
You leave my beliefs alone.
Did I say I'm here to change your belief?
It's what you're doing. It's what you're trying to do, Mark.
Saying he can't say outlandish things.
Live
without
according to
backing
your
it up.
creed, Mark.
He
It's
can't
your
say
creed.
outlandish-
Live according to it.
He can't say things that he can't prove.
Don't tell us what we can and can't do,
Well,
Mark.
he can't.
Right. Well, you earlier on.
No,
you
we
were,
believe we can.
Earlier, you were saying the static thing. Why don't you just go and do that right now and find out, like for real, like and record it?
Where's this bickering going?
Your da is where it's going, Kimo, you fucking prick.
Unnecessary, man.
Kimo, don't stifle the pathetic excuse for conversation.
Oh, don't stifle the bickering. Carry on.
It's not. What? Who's how? Is your definition of bickering, or is it the definition of bickering?
You're just picking.
I assume he's talking about me.
Oh, is he? Right, Kimo, why is it bickering? Why is this instance why in this instance is it bickering?
With Kimo, it's always about me.
Oh, okay. It should never be about you. Never about him.
Shouldn't be, but yet there it is.
He doesn't live by his creed either.
Bickering.
There you go. You're not living by your creed, Kimo. You're just like Mark. You're practically the same person.
Can you believe this shit, Mark?
Why don't you show Mark that you're on a ball spinning, flying through space instead of bickering?
I don't believe I have to do that right now.
He can't show me. He can't show me.
I don't believe I have to, and I can
have to.
Yeah,
it would be nice if you could.
What does that mean? Show.
Yeah, show me.
How you understand you're on a ball.
Right. What requirements do you have to show this to you?
Well, however you understand you're on a ball, show him that.
Oh no, understanding. See, now you're using show in a different sense than you normally revert to, and will revert to once again after I've met that requirement to show it. You'll say no, I didn't show it.
You can't show me, man. So you're very similar to Lemon. Lemon says a dome. You say we're spinning on a round ball, and you can't prove it either.
Well, no, you
was
want to
wondering
argue about proof. That's pretty juvenile.
Can you hear me, Curb?
Yeah, can you hear that I was talking to Mark and answering the question that he asked me? If you want to start Grim, or just chill out, relax,
I'm not starting
and go
anything.
with what
Calm
you
down.
were going to say instead of acting like this.
Hey, guy, calm down. This ain't about any of that, whatever's going on in your brain right now. I was just wondering for the, because I was in a flat earth room yesterday, and I was forced to answer a question, right? And it was like, you need to answer this, blah, 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 or else. Anyway, so it was like, what is, they asked me, the main flat earth argument? And I laughed because there was, in my mind, I'd never heard a main flat earth argument, except for if I had more time to think of it, I would have said, well, the main thing I've heard from generally every single flat earther is we don't have a model. I just wanted to say that.
Well, prove your curve. Prove that you have a curve on the earth.
Yeah, but you call that the main argument?
No, I don't call it a main argument. There's loads of arguments.
Right. But I was asked to the main argument. What is the main argument, right? And so, and I thought it was funny because
There's 6 or 7. There's 6 or 7 that you could use.
What are the 6 or
Right.
7 you
I
could
thought there
use,
was at
just
least
out of
20 of
curiosity?
them. Yeah.
What are the 6 or 7 you could use, fucking Mark, out of curiosity?
Sorry, what did you say? What is
What
the...
are
I can't hear
the
you,
6?
mate.
What
are
are
the
the 6 or 7?
All right, so proof of the distance to the sun.
Okay, go.
How would you prove that?
No, give us the whole. Give us the
What
6
does
or
that got to do
7.
with flat Earth?
Oh, okay, sorry. What about
Wait,
the
I understand this. That you're now giving the 6 or 7 main arguments in favor of the globe, right?
No, I'm just saying.
Graham, that's what you were talking about,
7.
right? You were supposed to bring one of the main arguments, right, in favor of the globe.
Yeah,
I was
6 or 7.
in favor of.
Wait, what are the 6 or 7 then, Mark?
Right, distance to the sun, scientific evidence of R, signs of axial rotation.
This
Any
is just
proof
pure
of gravity.
Oakleyisms. These are pure
None of those
Oakleyisms.
are about proving flat Earth, though, dude.
These are
Curvature. Is
this
there any
bollocks.
curvature?
No, you're talking about rotation.
Yeah, rotation, Earth rotation.
So no,
So if I
no,
fly-
isn't about
you have
proving
no
flat
evidence
Earth.
of flat Earth.
That's
If
about
I
proving
fly up
movement.
in a helicopter, all I need to do is hover there, and the destination will come to me, right?
No.
Wait a second. Grimm said that he was asked to state the main argument for flat Earth.
Right.
Is that correct?
No, he said 6 or 7, which
Oh, for
I said.
fuck's
Hold
sake.
on.
Dude,
And
you
I
a
said
What,
I'll
Grimm,
say
will you-
them.
No,
It's
I was
time
like
for
I
Grimm
said.
to answer, not others.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said which
I was
ones.
asked,
He said which.
Mark, that means shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm actually talking right now. So if you want to know what I'm saying, don't talk. What I said was that in the flat Earth room, they had asked me to present the main flat Earth argument, and I was kind of taken aback because I've been around for a long time and I've never heard a main flat Earth argument. At that time, I couldn't think of this one thing that I just thought of this morning was, well, the main flat Earth argument that I always hear from every flat Earther is, we don't have a model.
But why were they asking you?
Why
Mark
don't you address the
Olingold?
ones that I've
Did you want to
said?
follow
Why
that
don't you
up?
address what I've said then?
Well,
Why don't you
like,
address the ones that I've said?
trying to dig out what my intentions are. Like, it was some new guy who didn't know me.
Okay.
Like some James.
I mean, I would have thought that the most reasonable thing to do would be ask what your main argument is in favor of, because that's your position, right? I mean, you're not a flat earther. Why would that just?
No, yeah.
How
because
can
he
you
wanted to
assume everyone's main
Right,
argument?
he was trying
There
to
isn't
test-
but one.
like Chris, like as a baller, well, you know, you would know the main argument of certain other people who argue with you all the time, and I think that's what they were trying to do. Yeah. He was just trying to see, like, have I been paying attention?
Got you. Okay, right. Like so, like
Right.
fucking Quantum Razor has this like this scientific this distorted view of the scientific method, this perverted view, I should say.
Not
fucking-
really, Chris. He uses the
Okay,
actual
I mean, I wasn't
scientific
quite
method.
finished, but
Yeah, you're
Okay,
just
on you
making
go.
up stuff. Chris,
let's
you can
explore
say
that then. Okay, let's
Chris, I
explore
would
that.
agree.
Okay, why is it not a perverted, a distorted, perverted view of
He
what
uses
it's supposed to be?
he uses a scientific method for grown-ups. So if you
Where
was a
did
grown-up, you
he
can
get the
understand it.
qualifications to make this decree?
Where did you get the qualifications? Where did
I
you get
don't
the
have any.
qualifications?
I don't have
Well,
any.
then
That's
shut up
irrelevant. He's the
Then
one
shut
that's,
up then.
that's making. He's the one
You
that's
don't need
making
to
this
project
decree.
onto me.
But he is the one making the decree. I am not. I'm simply asking questions. So where did he get the qualifications necessary?
Universities. He uses universities.
They use
that
Where
method.
did he get
Yeah.
his credentials from? Where's he been cited in the papers? Where's
He
his
is cited
expertise
from
lie?
universities.
No,
He is
but I'm
cited
asking.
from universities.
Right,
He uses
okay.
citations. He backs his evidence up.
Right, he backs it. Right, what's the citation that he uses
what?
specifically that backs
You're
up his
stuttering,
position?
mate. You're
I'm not
stuttering.
spiraling.
What?
I'm asking you what the citation is that he uses in favour of his position.
He uses the Rochester one.
Can you
Rochester
can you give me it?
University.
Right, what's the
I
Rochester one?
already put it in the chat before today already.
I'm not scrolling up to look for it. This is
Well.
this is Your
Well, I'm not
argument,
on
you
the
should be
computer.
prepared.
I'm on the phone. I'm not on the phone. I should be prepared.
Well, yeah.
Well, why
yeah.
don't you go look at it? Because
Why should I?
Right
You're the
He
one that's
uses the right
defending
one.
it. I'm simply asking questions.
You're not answering questions.
So what happens when someone like Jem presents dozens of other citations just as that are just as have as many from reputable universities that fucking go against what Quantum Razor says? What then?
It didn't go against. It didn't go.
It absolutely did. It fucking destroyed his argument entirely and completely.
You can ask Jem yourself.
Look, I saw the video.
What
I saw the bit. He got quote after quote after quote from fucking university professors saying there is no single scientific method.
Is QE still using the scientific method from the soft sciences, or has he actually figured out physics?
Yeah, no, it's an experimental physics scientific method. It's like a fundamental religion. You know, it's like
I have imposted an experiment that doesn't have that scientific method. It's about the Rutherford gold foil experiment. So can you explain to me why this experiment doesn't need an independent and dependent variable?
Wait, say that again. You lost me at the dead.
Sorry, it's independent and dependent variable. He said.
So
the guy who said because everything have to have independent and dependent variable. Sorry. So I have posted an experiment. It's about the Rutherford gold foil experiment. Yeah, it's in the chat. If you go,
yeah, I could do, but I'm not at a computer, so I can't look it up.
You can use your phone, you knob. I'm on my phone.
No, I can't.
Okay, yes, you can. I'm literally on my phone and I can play the video.
Technology
but some people
evades
can't
them.
see that little tiny screen on their phone, though, dude.
I mean, my screen's not very bad. My phone's like I've made it mid-sized
your
one.
eyesight
And
might
it's
be better.
I'm not.
It's fine.
I have a problem with looking.
All
at
I'm
my
saying
phone,
is
man.
QE does use the scientific method.
No, he uses his own perverted version
No,
of
he
it for his own
doesn't,
perverted, distorted
Rochester
ends, and that's that.
University. Look at Rochester University.
No, you look at it and fucking tell me.
No, I don't have to.
And tell me why that's the only one that should stand.
I know it.
Why is that the only one that should stand?
No,
because this is a ridiculously boring argument that already went on for hours upon hours today.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
yeah, Chris doesn't know anything. Chris doesn't know anything.
Half the fucking day. Yeah, it's really bad.
Oh, fuck's sake.
And idiots understand it. They don't know what they're arguing. You can't get any.
Mark,
You're
what
arguing
did
with
he
someone
use the
who's
scientific
invincible
method
idiot.
on? Experiments.
I didn't take it back to this. He did, right? Because he just sucks his fucking
Actually,
cock.
he did.
So.
Yeah.
My friend, not all
Made an experiment on that?
Absolutely no.
Chris,
point.
you got to be able to potty mouth, mate.
I don't know. I have no
Experiments did
idea
he
what
do?
you mean.
Where is it published?
Potty mouth.
My friend.
Oh, he said party mouth.
Not all the experiments they need
Potty.
that scientific
Potty
method
mouth.
that's implied.
Party.
I want to know what experiments QE did and where is it published. Thank you. Give me a link.
I heard you.
Huey hasn't done an experiment in his life. He did remedial college after he got out of the army or special reserve. The guy's a nut job.
What about his degree in advanced home ec?
Is there like a citation you guys can provide to prove that he's actually a nutbag?
Oh, that's good.
Calling him a nut job is an opinion. You don't need a citation.
I actually have his OE or his NCOERs from when he was in the military, and all his superiors call him a nutbag. Is that good?
Did
enough for
they?
you?
Can you get a quote? Can we have a quote?
Yeah, let's just change the subject.
No, let's not. Let's not change the subject. I mean,
That's
definitely
great
let's
stuff,
not.
isn't it?
I would very much like
Let's
to hear
attack the man instead,
this
right?
stuff. No, that's
I'll
just
accept it.
it's just someone else's opinion, like the professor from the Rochester University. I mean,
No, it's proof.
right?
It's not just one. It's not just one person's opinion. It's like three people on that piece.
Give
of
me the
opinion.
name of the three
Archetypal
people.
If you have a look at it.
What's the name of the three people? No, wait, fuck that.
You
Drink
look
of
it up.
Kool-Aid.
You look it up.
Drink of Kool-Aid.
Educate
Can we
yourself,
get
fella.
the can you read it out?
Christy.
Well, I'm talking to someone.
I'm trying to find it right now, Chris. Give me a minute.
Okay, no worries. Thanks.
Yeah, you're like eviscerating this dude's god right now. Give him a moment to recoup.
All right, okay.
His fingers are bleeding. We got him.
I mean, we've had two QE supplicants come in here, and someone asked earlier, "Where's the power?" Wasn't it? Yeah, it was. I think it was him.
Christy,
dude, that's
Christy.
not my name.
Christy,
I mean, if
no,
you
I'm
want to call me
gonna
that, that's
call
up
you-
to you. I mean,
I'll
I'm
call
fine
you
with it,
Christy.
but
Did
okay,
you
that's
just say
okay.
QE sycophants?
I mean, I'm sure you're the first person
I've
to
only
think
heard
of that
I've only heard
ever.
of QE last 3 days. I've only heard of QE last 3 days. So I've done my little
And
research.
you like the taste of his balls so much that you washed them on a minute-by-minute
Come on,
basis.
Chris. Don't resort
Come on,
to that.
Christy.
Come on.
Christy, that's too
Chris,
much.
Well, he's a ball washer, right? He's a supplicant.
I'm a ball
Okay,
washer.
say it once and be done with it. Good grief.
I'm a ball washer.
I'm done with it.
Oh, Christy,
Did you just say that, Marsha?
You did come in here quoting literally line for line Nathan Oakley's intro to his podcast that he does daily. So to say
And
you've
which
only
was-
done
which was
for
what?
like 3 days, it's probably a little incorrect.
Which was what? What did I quote? Quote me. Go on. I love to hear this. Go on. Go on.
Bring us some scientific things that he's done. Any experiment, just one.
Who?
No evidence of axial tilt.
No evidence of axial rotation.
Evidence of gas.
No, the question
without a
was.
container.
Except
Can
for
you
the
get the question again?
I'd
Because I'd like an answer.
Fanboy, but you don't like being called out on it.
Evidence of presumed value.
Jesus,
Yeah,
why are we
I-
getting this
I-
fucking Oakley bollocks in here?
Read from the playbook. But no. You've only been listening to him for 3 days. Get out of here. We're not fucking dumb.
We've heard that mantra repeated over and over
Yeah,
again.
I've
and we
heard-
just ignore
yes,
it.
I've
You
heard
think
of
you're like
Nathan Oakley for
we're not
2
getting a
years,
response
but
because
QE,
somebody
I
can't
haven't.
answer it. But it's more like
Wait,
oh my
sorry,
God,
wait a
come
minute.
on,
I have to challenge that. You said you've been listening to Oakley for 2 years, but only QE for 3 days. That's impossible. It's simply not possible.
I didn't listen. I haven't listened to the QE for 3 days.
So wait a minute, let me get it straight. You
looked
watch Oakley, and then when fucking Quentin Razor comes on, you mute or turn it off or skip ahead? What the fuck?
No, because I haven't heard him on it. I don't watch it every day, mate.
For 2 years you've listened to him and you've never heard that again. That's not possible.
No, I haven't.
Literally every episode.
You're a liar. You're just I name you liar. You gave me Kirsty. I call you liar.
Yeah, that's all right. You know, that's all right. You can call it what you like.
Sorry, Marsha. Nobody's going to buy this.
Okay, Kirby.
Is he actually
Well,
bringing
he
these
thinks
arguments
that's the way to go, so he wants to be called Marsha, evidently.
Let's bring it back onto the point. All right, let's bring it back onto the point.
Are
Where's
you
your
bringing these
value?
arguments over here as if we've never heard these before?
Well, that's why you don't want to answer them. Why don't you answer them?
You said where's our
times
Why
by
don't you
many
answer them?
Because I'll tell you why. Because we all fucking.
Why don't you answer
left.
actual rotation?
I'll give you an answer. I'll give you an answer why. We all
Crystal.
left that cunt. We all left that fucking
Why
cunt.
did you leave?
Because he was
Why
a
do you
cunt.
have to talk when somebody else is talking? Why, Mark?
Because there's about 3 or 4 of you talking as well.
No, there was Chris trying to talk, and you won't let him get it out. Now,
Sorry,
come
I
on.
can't
If you want to be treated well, you got to treat other people well. That's the way it goes, dude. No,
that's exactly.
Come on, you act a little more grown up. You can do it.
So
Thank you, Kirby.
we took the decision to boycott Oakley due to his bad behaviour and the way that he was treating certain people in particular, and the awful, disgusting things that he would say. Now he uses these housekeeping things which have been answered. He's had them answered numerous times on his show. I certainly won't entertain answering them because those are his questions, and I would rather just continue the boycott. So. Yeah, that's
okay, Chris. Don't answer his questions, but spin rotation. Do we have spin rotation on Earth?
I'm not going to. I pass.
Why not?
I'll pass. I pass. I took a pass.
Question.
And I passed on it. Why are you forcing me to do
As you
things?
can see.
I don't believe in.
Thank you very
I
much.
have a question.
To the flat end.
I have a question for
You
Mark.
look them up.
Mark, what you're dealing with flat Earth or globe, right? Is that what this is about? Or something to do with globe? Is that correct?
I just asked Chris a very simple question. Are we spinning?
Mark, what is this list? What is this list, Mark?
Spinning? And he said,
Mark, what is this list?
Well,
What is this list, Mark?
I guess the evidence of us spinning is looking up at the stars and seeing them.
No, wait. Mark, what is the list?
I just said, does the Earth spin? Curve, does the Earth spin? Yes or no?
All right, Mark, you're running down a list of what? Proof for the globe?
No, curve. I'm answering a very simple question. Do we spin? Yes or no?
He's asking you a simpler question.
Rotate.
We rotate. Who said that?
Everybody's saying that. Who said that?
So Hannah, we rotate, yeah?
Everyone does that.
Yes.
Except for flat Earth.
All the day. 24
Okay.
hours.
So H, tell me
I
how
want
we
to know why you're asking.
spin. Go on, H, tell me how we spin.
You spin by rotating.
Oh my god.
H is Hannah's talking. Let Hannah talk. Hannah, you said we rotate. How do we rotate?
Rotating. What is a dumb question?
Yeah, what way?
Contextualize it.
Tell me.
So let's contextualize it. They say from the Big Bang, we were shot away like a.
Sunrise and set. Answer.
So we spin west to east or east to west. What way?
Where does the sun rise and set?
I'm asking you that question. You said we rotate. So do we spin east to west or west to east?
You can answer that. You can answer that just yourself. You don't need anybody to tell you. It's pretty obvious.
You don't know, do you, Hannah? You don't know. You don't know.
Of course I do.
Well, supposedly,
a very simple question. If you knew we rotate, you would know what way we rotate. Do we rotate east to west or west to east?
You know the answer. You're just being stupid.
I know the answer.
Everyone here knows. Everyone here knows. I'm sure that it's the opposite of the.
Come on, all right. We spin west to east.
Please help. Someone help us. Needs help.
Yeah, but he's trying to ask Hannah here how she knows. So he's trying to have a conversation with Hannah.
It's Oakley's questions, Chemo.
Because the sun rises.
How do you know we have seasons, Chemo?
So he's not allowed to have a conversation with Hannah, is what you're saying.
It's not a conversation, is it?
Hannah helped out Kirby, so she helped him out. She said we rotate. So how do we rotate? Tell me.
Are the women not allowed to speak here or something?
All
is that
he's
a problem?
doing is here asking his questions, Chemo. It's not a conversation.
So are the women not allowed to speak, Gary? Is that an issue here? She said one or two words and she can't get a word out, Gary.
There's no conversation being allowed. He's not offering a conversation, Chemo.
Yeah, but again, he's trying to talk.
All he's doing is an interrogation. If people wanted that, they could go on Oakley's.
Yeah, but he's trying to have a conversation with her, asking a couple of questions.
It's a bit of an interrogation because he's asking her over and over again, and her answer, whatever it is standing. Since the Big Bang, we exploded, and that imparted spin onto everything, supposedly. So it's like shooting a billiard ball spinning from your hand in a certain direction.
Wait,
that's basically
we need to go back to because he's asking simple questions, Lemon, to the Globers. He's looking for simple answers, not a big deal.
He knows the answer. Anybody.
Yeah,
that
I know it.
I
know it. But do you know it? Do you
Yes.
know it?
Of course.
Tell me.
And now he's
I'm not
badgering people to answer his
not going
questions.
to answer a
Chemo.
question that you know the answer to. It's silly.
Jesus Christ.
Well, hey, hijacking the fucking room to do it.
You don't know that.
What is the point? We spin west.
Who's going to tag in for hate? Who's tagging for hate?
This is just
time to look it up now.
Oakley by
When you
proxy
get up in
is
the morning,
fucking
what direction
sickening.
does your sun rise? Set in the evening.
It all depends on where I am as well, to be fair.
Really?
Oh, let's try that. Let's look more into that. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, now
explain.
you want to have a conversation?
Oh, yeah, I know. He does now.
Want him to explain that
interesting.
pile of shit he
Well, that's
just spewed out.
Oh, God.
Come on, Mark.
It's
go
a
ahead
heavy
now.
burden, I know.
Loaded with information,
By
Mark.
telling that full shot pendulum is how we know it rotates. He's just going to
Let
dismiss it.
Mark share how it depends.
Kirby, are you ready?
How does it depend, Mark? How
Are
does
you
it
ready?
depend?
Kirby, are you ready?
Mark, how does it depend?
Okay, Kirby. So, are we spinning? Yes or no?
The Earth is a globe. Motion is irrelevant. Now, Mark, listen to me.
Is irrelevant.
You said it depends, Mark.
So,
what does it depend on?
Not? Yeah.
What does where the sun rises and sets depend on, Mark? Okay, so what? Why does where the sun rises and sets
if the Earth is moving.
Depend? Whether it's east or west, what does that depend, Mark?
That's what he was asking Hannah.
Do you know why it depends, Kirby? It depends because I'm telling you, it depends because the globe model says it spins one way. And do you know, seeing as you believe that we rotate, which way it spins?
We're still trying to find out what it depends.
Where you are make a difference to whether the sun rises in the east or the west.
So, Kirby, do we spin? What way do we spin? East or west or west or
Question is
east?
to you, sir.
Why are you avoiding this like plague? You
The first question was, does the Earth move?
This is your mess.
Okay,
Now,
do you
how
want me
does
to be
that
honest with you? Do you
depend,
want me
Mark?
to be honest with you? Do you want me to be honest with you? The Earth
Where would you be on Earth?
The Earth doesn't spin.
Mark, where on Earth would you be that the sun rises in the west?
I could be anywhere. I could be absolutely anywhere.
This is interesting. You believe this to be true, Mark? The sun rising in the west.
The Earth rising in the west. What? Sorry, what did you say?
The sun. Learn to hear. Very simple word. Sun rising in the west.
Got a bad mic.
Where on Earth would you be for the sun to rise in the west?
I couldn't hear you.
You need to fix your mic curved.
Where on Earth would you be that the sun would rise in the west? You know, it would help if he would answer a question instead of trying to talk.
The sun doesn't rise. Sun doesn't set.
You're just a fucking
We don't know
liar,
what the
man.
sun is.
You can hear it in his voice that he's lying.
It's kind of boring.
Yeah, can we get back to Hannah? Hannah, are you ready to participate?
Question, Kimo, make your flat
Go back to
brethren
you. Does the Earth
answer the
spin?
question.
Let's go back to
Chris
Hannah.
said he
So,
no, Kimo, I'm saying what he's doing by
Kimo, you take
lying,
over.
saying he can't
no,
hear the
no,
question.
Mark, you carry on with Hannah here. She's ready.
No, there's a question on the table, Kimo.
They won't
Why
let you
don't you
speak,
relate
Hannah.
to your
Yeah,
flat
you
earth
didn't want to
brethren
answer it.
and get an answer
passed.
to it?
You passed.
Slopers are going to do their
I passed your question. Are you going to pass? Right, so you're going to pass in yours too.
So it's just best to just
You'd be
take
like,
the
so then
truth and move
why are you saying that my
Chris.
pass is somehow
Chris,
a defeat?
I didn't pass.
But your pass is acceptable. Why is that? Okay.
No, because you're not answering my questions. You're all just passing it off and not even saying anything. I'm
Right.
saying, I know
Okay.
the
And then
answer.
you're going to pass on Curve's question.
No, I'm not. Because
Right, well, answer the question then.
No,
Answer the
because
question then.
we asked
Chris,
Hannah
does
a
the Earth
question
spin?
and we're
Well,
waiting
then
for
answer
Hannah.
the question then.
No.
No, I answered him
Christophe.
2 different ways.
Go on, Hannah. I'm listening.
Answered him 2 different
She just
ways.
said she answered the question.
No, she never.
She fucking just told us she did.
Can't hear you because you're all talking over her.
Do you
You're
know
lying,
what? You know what? I take from this that all of you are just afraid and scared and don't want to answer
And I
questions.
take from this that all of you are liars and delusional.
And
I think we just started doing this like yesterday.
Very simple.
You gotta be kidding me.
Right, try
Where
again
on
there,
Earth-
Mark. Ask the question again to Hannah.
Hannah.
Compulsive liar.
Emo, I answered him. I'm not answering again.
Okay,
Not
so
stupid.
you said we rotate. Brilliant. What way do we rotate?
I already told you.
My fucking god.
Didn't. You didn't tell me.
Even Lemon Bird gave you a much
You
more
don't think the
descriptive.
planet rotates. What point is it of me to answer your questions about rotation?
Yeah,
That's
because
a
I know your
little
model.
counterintuitive.
I know your model as well as you do.
You know
Obviously, I believed that
experiments
I
they
lived on a
did
ball.
to make sure that they knew the planet rotates. Why don't you look it up?
But he
That's a
did
little
claim that there was
I'm
no
answering you.
evidence.
I'm answering you that question. We can move on. We can move it on if you just give me an answer.
I already did.
Or
Can
just
you
say
say
you
it
don't
again?
know.
No.
I don't know.
Mark,
Do you want me to
Let's
Mark,
not
how are you
answer.
using
He
your
doesn't want to
questions?
answer any further, so let's move on in the
Mark,
conversation.
I'll answer it for you.
Mark, how do your questions
We-
apply
we
to a
rotate-
geocentric
We rotate
stationary
counterclockwise.
globe? You understand that, Mark?
Mark, would you agree?
The issue is the shape of the Earth. You got a geocentric, geostationary globe. Why are you asking them about rotation when they don't even believe the Earth rotates?
Noise.
So we spin counterclockwise, okay, H?
He won't listen.
Counterclockwise?
Yeah, that's
What
apparently
is the reference?
counterclockwise.
Spin is not shape, you fucking retard.
That would be correct depending on whether or not it's from the north, looking down on the Earth from the north or the south in their model. But it'll only be counterclockwise if you're looking from the south, like Grim said.
It spins west to east. West to east.
Right, now can we have the question? Where
Oh
on
yeah,
earth
you're
would you
right.
have
I'm
to be for the
sorry.
sun to
You're
rise
right.
in
West
Yeah,
to
I'm
east.
right.
You're right. I'm sorry.
West to east, yes, I know I'm right.
Right, we'll have to ask that question now.
Right, hey, so we do rotate west to east. Is that correct?
Correct.
H, you with me?
I think it
She's not
means
with
you,
me.
Hannah.
Get yourself a Foucault pendulum. Figure it out yourself.
Hannah's not interested in participating in the conversation.
Fucking
Well,
tedious
she's not running away. She's giving a clear example of how when you said there is no. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Okay, now how fast do we spin?
Wait a
Hannah?
minute. That doesn't. Hold on. Hey, hold on a second. What were you saying?
We're gonna
William?
You're conflating different issues.
Right.
So
You said
we
there was no
rotate,
evidence
west
of
to
Earth
east.
rotation,
How fast do we
and she
spin
just
at the
clearly gave you
equator?
an example of evidence, and she called it Foucault pendulum. Right. That's the evidence you said doesn't exist. You might not believe it, and it might not be sufficient.
I didn't say
to
that.
Yeah, you did. You said there's no evidence for
I
Earth
didn't say
rotation.
didn't. I didn't say didn't
That was
exist.
one of the first things you said.
No. What you
There
said
was
was
no
to
evidence
Hannah
for
is
Earth
how
rotation.
fast does it rotate? Now we've established
Clearly, it
it's
was right along with
rotating
your mantra.
west to east. He
So
wants
now
to
we
know how
established
fast.
we move. Yeah, how fast do we spin at the equator? That's what I said.
15 degrees per hour.
So you
So
agree that there is
1,000
evidence
miles
of
per
Earth
hour.
rotation.
Right?
No, we don't rotate miles per hour.
No.
Yeah, but
So
in
now we're
miles per
gonna
hour,
answer
how
You
much?
guys are
Why is this
conflating
fly
two
up
different
101
issues.
again?
Rotation.
You don't rotate.
Someone ask him real quick for me
You do
if
not
there
rotate
is
in miles
evidence
per
in his
hour.
mind of Earth rotation or not.
In my mind. Earth
That's the only
rotation in
place.
my mind. Is
That's
that
the only
what you
place
just
that
said?
we're.
Earth rotation in
That's
my
right.
mind. Fuck, you know.
Yeah, in your opinion, it's a term.
Okay,
Of,
so
it's a
when
phrase,
I open my
turn of
front
phrase
door,
here in the
I
U.S.
walk towards my car, I get in my car, I'm not spinning. But if I go on a roller coaster ride, which spins or something like that, yeah, I'm spinning. I observe spinning.
A roundabout.
At a fun fair or roundabout or whatever. But if I open my door and I walk out, I'm not spinning. I don't
Yes, you are.
experience.
Sure you are.
No, I'm not,
Rotating.
fella.
Yes, you are.
They are.
I'm
You
not,
just
I'm
don't
not
feel
taking
like
any
it.
drugs, so I'm not
You guys
spinning.
have no
feel like
concept
you're
of how
spinning,
large
Because
the
you
Earth
can't
is.
feel it, right?
Of
Because your
course I
body.
can't feel it. Of course
Yeah,
I can't
because
feel
if
it.
you-
Like you can't feel it.
Yeah, because
That's right. And if your body didn't evolve to not feel it, then what would
Evolve.
happen? You'd be walking around dizzy and
Evolve.
fucked up all the time, right? If your
My
equilibrium
body didn't
was
evolve. Did you
hadn't
say?
evolved to not feel it, yeah, it's a very infinitesimally small amount of force, but you can measure it. So
All
if your body was more finely tuned, right, and to your in your equilibrium, you would be dizzy all the time. So it would make sense that you wouldn't want to feel that, so that
Because I'm not feeling rotation.
in evolution, it would make sense that you
No,
wouldn't
my
feel it
friend.
anymore.
No, my friend. But this could be easily done by
No,
having
my
a
friend.
drone,
No, my
a
friend. What? Can you
helicopter.
prove something from what he have said? No, my friend. What? So no, my friend. No, my friend. What?
Helicopter.
Just miss
All
and
I can do
hand
is
wave
get
what
a
I'm saying away and change the
and
subject.
wait for it to come
Who's
to me.
this twat talking?
Yeah, the air in if the helicopter is riding along is also moving with the earth, so it doesn't make any sense.
So reference of frame.
Motherfucker's claiming that he's listened to Oakley for 2 years and he's asking and saying these ridiculous things.
reference
What
frame
the
doesn't
fuck,
matter in
man,
this
is
sense,
wrong
huh?
with this picture?
Yeah, it moves randomly. Doesn't move in one way, does it?
My friend, reference of frame.
Who's the twat who's talking?
Changes every minute. Every
Mark
half an
doesn't
hour,
believe
every
in
hour.
inertia and momentum. So maybe
Who's
Mark
English
will
twat?
accept the motorcycle challenge. Are you up for it, Mark? Are you up for the motorcycle challenge?
I can't hear you. Say that again, Curve. Curvy, say it
You
again.
don't believe in inertia and momentum. Are you up for the motorcycle challenge?
Kirby, I can't hear you, man. You keep cutting out.
Curved, he's fucking with you. We can all hear you fine. He's being a
I can't hear him.
We all hear you, Kirby.
He is
You're a fucking liar.
He keeps roboting.
His mic is bad.
Chris, stop swearing at me. I'm getting.
This is the most embarrassing use of a white flag tactic I've ever encountered, Marky.
It really is.
I can't hear you because Chris is talking over you.
Look, he's got 4, 5, 6, 7 ball earthers all at his throat. What do you expect? A serious conversation when you're all jumping all over him.
There you go. Chemo, go ahead and interrupt everything.
Well, I'm saying, are you expecting a serious conversation from Mark when you've got 4 or 5 ballers jumping all over him, asking him 5 questions at once?
I was trying to talk to Mark, and Mark has
There is no continuity whatsoever. Nobody can't finish a 2-minute conversation.
I was talking to Mark. Mark is pretending he can't hear me.
Right. So, Chemo, stop that bullshit.
No, stop the 4, 5,
There ain't
6,
4 or
7
5
people at
anybody
once.
jumping on the guy either. The guy just keeps saying, I don't hear you. Repeat yourself.
You're not going to get
I
a
don't hear you.
serious
Repeat
conversation
yourself.
if that's how it's going to go on. That's how you'll be treated. It's going to be like, what is this? What is this?
I
A
was
circus?
talking to Mark. Mark,
right now,
Michael,
there we go.
Ride at a wall 100 kilometers per hour. Within the last 10 to 15 feet before you reach that concrete wall, jump straight up off the motorcycle. That will prevent you from flying into the concrete wall, correct? That's correct, right, Mark? According to your physics, because the helicopter should just get left behind by the spin of the earth, right, Mark? Doesn't have momentum or no inertia involved here. That's what you're saying, Mark. So go ahead, take the challenge.
Hey, it works for Wile E. Coyote there, Kirk.
Yeah, you lost your voice there for a second.
I'll be happy with
Prove you believe the shit you're spewing, Mark.
It was the spirit of globe diarrhea leaving Curve.
Prove you believe it.
Oh my god.
So a helicopter goes up in the air. What did you say? What happens on your globe Earth?
Anybody who talks to you is as retarded as you from this point on.
Kirby,
You're
you think the Earth is spinning, mate?
Mark. You're a waste,
think the Earth is
Marcia.
spinning?
Good day.
Thank you, Kirby.
Right, where's Hannah?
Love you too.
Hannah, it's calmed down now. Mark wants a word. If you're
I
about.
don't care. He's not debating and.
Hannah doesn't want to talk. Hannah knows the truth already. I don't have to talk to her. I can tell from her voice. She knows the truth.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You know, the Earth rotates, yeah. So.
Go on, Mark. While it's quiet, now's the chance.
No, I'm gonna go eat my dinner now. I'm bored.
Fair enough.
Somebody explain to me why
flat motionless
a
plane.
flag that's in a car going 100 miles an hour doesn't just when it flies upwards smack the back windshield, because we know flies can't fly at 100 miles an hour. So obviously it has something to do with the air pressure.
That has something to do with them being in a contained car. The Earth is not a contained car. That's where your analogy fails.
It's air pressure.
Conservation momentum.
Why you're doing the container? You're trying to say that we need a container for the atmosphere again. And so what if there isn't? That's the point.
Otherwise, the atmosphere would trail behind the Earth like a comet.
Lemon is arguing there's not a container now to the Earth.
Wait, some of the atmosphere does trail behind
Your
the Earth.
system
Like
does not have it. It's not internally consistent that you have containment. So that's an internal contradiction that makes your thing fall like a house of cards.
Wrong, Lemon. Once again, you're wrong. Can
Except
you say
we're
anything
sitting here in air pressure. We're in the atmosphere in air pressure. So there's no house of cards there. It's a concrete block house with steel reinforcements.
Because there's a dome over it that your model hasn't accounted for.
There's no
if your
dome.
own model has an internal inconsistency, it can't go on to address anything else.
Proof of the dome, please, Lemon.
There's a gradient that proves there's no need for a dome. The
You
gradient.
only have a gradient if you have pressure in the first place, namely air hitting some sort of barrier.
Which side is
Lemon
arguing? Lemon said the car is contained.
Solar winds.
Lemon said
Like
the car is
magnetic field
contained.
that
The Earth
protects
is
it from the
not.
solar wind. God damn it! Like the
Which
magnetic
side is
field
he
that-
arguing?
So it's a wind within a. It's a current
like the
within
magnetic field that protects it from the solar wind, the ions from the sun. It
That's
is
an
contained in
electrical
a particular,
current.
but not the particular way in which you are asking for. It is contained though. The
electrical currents are different.
Why are you arguing
They're
with them, letting
currents
them argue
within
both
currents,
sides of it?
Grim. You
You're
could
saying
have
the
an
earth is
electrical
contained,
current
the
through
earth
a
is
medium
not.
while the rest of the medium is relatively
Whichever one's
undisturbed.
more convenient for them.
This is the problem with
still
America,
hear you
guys.
in the
This is why
medium.
America is falling apart. You can't even
I
hear
appreciate
one
what
another.
Lemon's trying to say, and I can't hear him because Chemo keeps interrupting.
Well, we're bringing order to the table. None of us can hear
I'm just
anything of
kidding.
what
It
you're
was
saying.
curved. I know. I'm just playing.
Oh,
Hey,
Grim,
seriously,
I'm
I
letting
was.
you have 1 or 2 points before I cut in because you do tend to go on with several points, all of which I would like to
Be
address.
prepared to be cut in on constantly, Lemon.
As
No, it's
necessary,
true.
people lecture the
Lemon
crap
knows
out of
me,
people
dude.
in here. 1 point or 2 points
Lemon
at a
knows I
time, and
don't.
let go of the freaking mic so people can address what the hell you say.
Okay, well, here's the point. Are you saying the earth
Exactly.
is
I
not
agree.
contained or the earth is contained?
This is a joke.
The earth is contained, yes.
The earth is, but in your previous argument, you said to Graham, the car is contained, the earth is not.
In your model is internally inconsistent.
Yeah, he was talking about our model, though.
I'm talking about in reality, in what actually happens.
In reality, it's actually contained. Your model doesn't account for that.
Proof of the container, Lemon. Come on, you made an assertion. Where's some proof?
I've given my evidence. You've rejected it. We don't need to go down this route again. You're not going to.
You're making an assertion without any proof. Gotcha.
Not evidence that you'd accept.
No, there's no evidence. That's why.
There's evidence. There's just evidence that you don't accept.
No, there's no evidence.
Oh, wait, so what is Lemon actually arguing here?
You're talking about the container, but you can't prove there's a container.
Well, it started because I was trying to liken the helicopter issue to the fly in the car because of air pressure curved.
Yeah, and I'm trying to hold him to what he said.
Right. Okay.
Nobody wants to do that.
I'm just showing how your model's internally inconsistent, Curve. That's all.
I'm pointing out how you're inconsistent. That's all.
The only person who's talking about consistency here is myself.
Actually, Lemon,
You're
I'm
not talking about anything that's consistent.
I'd like some proof, Lemon. I'd like some consistent proof of the dome.
Proof that you'd accept is different from proof. The evidence is there. Whether you accept it as proof is something else.
So where's the evidence, Lemon?
The evidence
I was just trying to see why
you don't like it because of whatever.
Oh, the evidence is because of this. I have no proof of the dome, but this must happen because of the dome. Therefore, there's a dome, even though I can't prove it.
You've got gas
pressure. Me the evidence that I presented, but I know that you're not paying attention, so we're just going to move on.
Gas
you have
pressure,
no
Patriot.
I'm paying. Yeah, but gas pressure is because of gravity. That's why. That's why we have the gravity.
Because there's a dome.
If there was a dome, there would be no. A dome without gravity, there would be no gradient. There'd be no
you can
gradient.
have charge separation, which leads to an uppity and a downity. Gravity pulling to the center of the ball
downity?
under the Newtonian conceptions unnecessary.
Uppity and downity?
Well, I think he's from. I'm trying to understand him. I think it's his way of saying a vector, having a vector for the force, ish.
So basically, he's saying that there is a dome, but we can't prove it, and gravity is because of electrostatics, which is wrong. So now you're like doubly wrong, Lemon.
Well, you can.
Evidence for
My point is, yet again, I said that I've given you evidence that you just have rejected. You can't even repeat back to me what I said because you weren't even paying attention.
I was
so
paying
really,
attention.
I have no interest in talking to you.
You say there's a dome, and I tell you that if there's a dome without any gravity, there would be no gradient. Then you came up
and I pointed to charge separation with an electromagnetic background medium that separates things into layers, and things float to their respective layer going up and down.
Good. How about some
separation will give you a general up and down anyway.
That's a great hypothesis, Lemon. How about some proof now? So I need two proofs. I need proof of the dome, and I need proof of your.
I already tried to prove the dome to you using logic and reason, and you rejected.
I don't know. I can give a shit about logic and reasoning. I want proof.
I want anything else to you. You're not. Your mind's not working consistently enough to offer evidence or proof. You're not listening.
Scientific proof, Lemon. Not consistent logic. Scientific proof. That's very different from consistent logic.
From the elite controllers that you respect and listen to over me.
There's just scientific evidence, dude. You're asking for too much.
I'm asking for him to actually prove something. Yeah, I'm actually. I'm actually.
Right, we have scientific evidence to support.
Okay, where's this evidence?
Kind of like wouldn't it be kind of preposterous to say you have scientific proof of basically almost anything unless
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
mathematical?
Okay, fine. Let's talk. Let's talk. Since you're going to be this way,
Hey,
how about some
Chill.
scientific evidence?
Hey, Chill, wasn't earlier on you guys were talking about anyone can do science or any method. So if a hypothesis is that if we have gas pressure, then we conclude there is a container. So we test that, and there's your science.
No, you need some evidence of the container.
But I've just said if we hypothesize that there is
need some. That's a very good hypothesis. Now, how about some evidence?
Yeah, you take a container with gas.
Hold on a second. Chemo, you are right. But you need to test that theory.
Yes, how do I test
Where
it?
is the-
How do you test it
Yeah.
then? With a container and gas.
How about a picture? How about a picture of the dome, a sample of the dome? Go there and knock on the edge of the dome.
No, that's
go
not
to
science.
Go to Antarctica.
That's
and
not how
actually
you do
see the dome
science.
and touch
Stop
it.
adding to a person's method, right? This is repeatable.
That's the part of the observation.
No,
Timo.
hold on a second. Because
No,
earlier on
Timo,
you were
you're-
arguing all day. Can I finish the
There's a dome.
point? Earlier on you were arguing all day that there are many methods, different
Yes.
methods, and if we have a hypothesis that there is a dome because
No,
there is
Kimo,
gas
Kimo.
pressure, we can test that
Kimo,
if gas
wrong.
pressure has a container.
No,
if we
Kimo,
can
no.
repeat that by validating that gas pressure
Sorry.
needs a container, there's
Gas
your
pressure
science.
doesn't need a container, though. Gas pressure does not need a container. See, because there's
So-
gravity.
Okay, so then how are you going to validate that then?
Gravity? I can validate gravity. How are you going to validate your dome? And then how are you going to, after you validate your dome, how are you going to validate
It's
your
easier than that. It's
electrostatic
easier.
replacement for gravity?
No, it's
You got
easier than
two
that,
things to
right?
prove now.
The
Well,
container
we're in
of
the same
wall,
position here then,
you
because
treat
you'd
that
have
as
to
a
show
force,
how
right?
all the atmosphere is
No.
being
Container
held
is a
down by
force
the Earth, and I would have to show you the
that
top
acts-
of the dome, the top
Come
of
on,
the
man.
atmosphere,
Hey.
and where the dome is.
I've already proved that
Chemo.
gravity exists, Chemo.
And I've already
Yeah,
shown
but
that
gravity's
gas
not a
pressure.
container. There's stuff that floats against gravity, so you're just begging the question.
No, actually, you don't understand. Once again, you're proving you don't understand.
It's
That
just
is
pointless.
called.
You're just waiting for
that is-
programming from
that
your
is-
elite Jesuit controllers. I have no interest in
Here we
talking
go.
to you.
Here we go. Here we go. Now we're going to get into
This
anti-Catholicism.
conversation's going to go nowhere with you participating. I'm so sorry.
Now we're going to
Grim,
get
what were
into
you saying?
anti-Catholicism. Now,
Well,
Lemon,
here,
how about proof?
for the
You
sake
have to
of
provide proof, Lemon.
like, look, for the sake of trying to find some common ground, would it be okay to say to Lemon? I'm asking you, Lemon. Sorry. Would it be okay to say that a force is a container? So would you accept if it was the electromagnetic force or something to the effect of that, like in the ashes of the electromagnetic force, or that is holding that material down?
Only if all the material is going where the force directs it. Gravity is seen as a toward the center of the Earth vector, but there are things that are going against this force, going up, left, and right, so it's not much of a container. It is only a container if everything goes where that force directs it, so that part is unacceptable. You're going to need solid containment because of all of these different vectors that are involved that are going against the force, showing that the force is nothing at all.
But I can show you in the laboratory, right, a plasmoid that inside of it has gas pressure, but it's inside of a vacuum, right? So the surrounding area around the plasmoid is near zero. It's very close. It has very little. It's what we consider the atmospheric pressure of space, near that. Right.
That's why charge repulsion.
For this idea, though, right. Yeah, but I mean, in the electric universe, we do say that there is that, right?
Repulsion and containment are not the same thing. I can make direct contact with the wall and it is not repelling me. I am making contact with it. If it was repelling me, there would be no contact. There would be this zone between me and the wall where there is nothing but repulsion, like with a magnet. That's somewhat different. There is a level of containment, yes, but I can hit the wall without electrostatic repulsion pushing me away. That's a little different, Grim.
You complain about me talking a lot, right? I mean, it's not different because when you think about gas and elastic collisions of gases, what is it intrinsic about the gases that give the elastic collisions? It's electromagnetic, right? So wouldn't it be fair to say that electromagnetic fields could then move gases or contain gases, right?
But you still need a solid object.
We do know in the laboratory that is very possible. So
you need a solid object, though,
let's follow the
to
logic,
give the field coherency. Otherwise, it would tend to dissipate. Where the dome comes in.
A live, real-world demonstration. You're talking over. There's a live real-world demonstration of plasmoids in a laboratory in a vacuum that hold and contain their own gas pressure, right? So, I mean, you can't really just say that there's no, you need a container, a physical barrier, because you know that that's not true, because you now know that those experiments do exist.
You
right?
still
So
need
we
solid
have an
objects to
actual
give the
mechanism.
field coherency and to give the field shape. Otherwise, it tends to dissipate.
Right, but if you, right, so the you realize that the electromagnetic fields and plasmas take shape on their own, and they like to have reoccurring, easily, I guess, formed shapes because they're what do you call it?
You're
Not
shaping it with
flexible,
the containment of the
scalable.
vacuum chamber and the electrodes. So it still
No,
reduces
it's
to the
not.
same thing. Where is your
You can
dome?
change the shape of the electrodes. You can change the shape of the electrodes all you want to. It doesn't do anything to the toroidal fields. They remain the same, those toroidal fields. So it's about the interaction of the electric fields themselves and an intrinsic part of what the plasma likes to do on its own. You don't have to direct the plasma to do these things. It does it on its own. That's the important part about this discussion. So nobody has to be up there pushing dials to make them make these particular shapes and shit, because they like to do it naturally in the natural world. That's why I love these experiments. Real experimental physics trumps theoretical physics all day long. And if there's an actual explanation, I mean, listen, you're saying that this stuff can't happen. And that's the only thing I don't like about, what's going on with what you said, because I don't care about flat Earth arguments.
Electrical nonsense.
What
No
happens
evidence.
It's not nonsense,
is
dude.
a solid firmament dome makes a lot of sense, just like a terrarium. I don't know what to tell you.
That's right. We're
If you're
inside
not
some kind
familiar
of
with these
enclosed system.
electrical aspects, then it would be the only other answer I could go to too. But since I am now familiar with other things that do exist, I can then say, look, patterns, they look the same. They're out of the same materials. This could be feasible. That way I can't then say there's no other answer, because I see that there is an actual feasible other answer.
I've already gone over the irony of you talking about this in a contained vacuum container. So already we still have a problem there. You still have a container to give the field shape, contour, and coherence. So
Okay,
I'm
let's
going to
do
have to
this
go
then.
with the firmament dome.
Well, for the sake of the idea, let's just say the entire universe is already contained in some aspect or other way with electric fields, which could be the containment that you're looking for, because we do know that exists. You're not shutting down the argument. You're only making it stronger.
Shutting
You're
it down on a
you're hand waving and dismissing things that you know do exist now.
I'm
You're
shutting
doing
it down on the philosophical level because this stuff is looked at as energy. Energy is channeled, contained, and pushed out by a solid object in the current philosophical paradigm. Could it exist on its own? Maybe, but for it to have any sort of work capacity and any sort of reliability, it needs to be channeled, formed, and directed by a solid object in the current philosophical school of science and the way that we treat energy versus matter. So on a philosophical level, what you're talking about is a little unlikely. Possible, yes, but a little unlikely.
All energy comes from matter, dude. So it's always just a reconversion of matter into energy. So it's still matter. It's just a different form of matter that we're now calling a form of energy, because it's converted into now energy. So there needs to be matter there. You're right. But see, you're just ignoring.
Well, this is not educational, Grim.
Yeah, I think it is. You're just hurting on it. You don't like that shit.
It's not reality.
All right. Well, have a nice day then, buddy. All right, bye.
Yeah, but it's not reality. Let's focus on the reality and what we can do about proving where we really live.
Well, we have a precedent for both plasmas doing containment and solid objects doing containment. I think solid is probably more likely because something solid would help give the field form, coherency, shape, and reliability.
So, Lemon, your assertion is that the gradient in the atmosphere is caused by an electric charge. Shouldn't one be able to test this inside of a container and put say, reverse the charge and see that the gradient reverses?
Yes.
Well, I think that's something I'd like to see. Do you have any examples of this?
Newspaper article from a while ago. I'd have to dig it up. They reversed the charge and things were floating upward. The gradient was
reverse gradient. Not in what direction of travel. I'm asking you for the pressure inside the tube to reverse the gradient. So to go from being denser at the bottom to denser at the top. merely by adjusting charge, and then we can measure the charge differential that we see in the atmosphere and see if there's enough of an effect to cause what you're claiming.
We'd have to see if this is testable in a lab.
Sounds
If it's
testable. You put
testable in
a,
a lab,
you
it's a
change your
step beyond
change your
gravity,
position,
which is not.
you change your cathode and your anode, and reverse it around, see how it goes.